Hey, welcome to check in with Mama Wade. I'm trying to see. Come on in. Hi, Limitless 52. I'm trying to see. Am I on Facebook Live because I'm not picking it up here on my own phone? Can someone let me know? Am I on Facebook Live, Brother Mac? Am I launching on Facebook? I need to know what's going on. Hi, guys. Got a great show. And I scheduled and everything, but it's not showing up on my own Facebook page. Check for me, Brother Mac, and let me know what's going on. Got a great guest today, a great show, and I want you all to be a part of the awesome information that is going to come from our guest today. Um, I'm out of town. He said, not yet. That's what I'm saying, Mac. What? I don't understand. I set it up for the launch. I set everything up and it didn't show up. I wonder why. What's going on? So that means my whole Facebook audience is not going to be able to see the show today. And I put the flyer up. Excuse me, y'all. I know it seems like I'm rambling, but I'm talking to my tech guy that's on the line with me, Brother Mac. So, Mac, what do you think I need to do? Do you think I need to cancel this and go and try it again? What do you think? Because it's not showing up at all on my Facebook. You said it's on now? It's on the Facebook now, is it? Well, why I don't see it? Okay, there you go. There you go. All right, y'all. I'm so glad y'all love me. Have mercy with me because I'm trying. I'm trying. All right, my guest will be in the studio in a minute. So until she come in the studio, once again, let me introduce myself. I am Mama Wade. This is Check In with Mama Wade, Better Health, Better Me. And you know that's how we roll. We roll with being our better health so we can be our better self. And our destination is to get to that place. And we know we pull out all straws by any means necessary. I want to thank you all once again for being such faithful and loyal followers, for being with me as I have been launching this information. And my prayers that it is helping somebody. As I said yesterday, if it's just that one person, then I know that I'm doing the assignment that God have called me to do. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna have a great show. I'm still waiting for her to show up in the studio, and we're gonna have us a great show today. We're gonna talk about youth. Okay, my precious is in. The theme of this month, the month of August, is Youth on the Rise. I wanted to bring in a program where we focus on the youth, and so I'm bringing in people that are going to be able to talk to us about the mental state of youth, um, um, the different places that they be in, just what limits them, or do they have, why do they have these limitations? Do we as parents play a part in it? We're going to hit on things like that. Plus, I'm going to bring youth on also that's going to be able to share how they got to the place that they, have arrived at, and what was, we know work was needed, but what was their specific circumstances that got them there? And maybe it'll speak to another youth or parents that's helping their youth get on the rise. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring in this special, beautiful woman. Actually, she's my daughter, Tregeal Wade Johnson, and she have been on this doing this awesome work for years and forever. And she's going to share, what made her decide to do this particular call. It's a giving call. She gives 100% of herself and some, and and we're just going to deal with truth here. I definitely believe in truth. So without further ado, I would bring in now my beautiful daughter, Tregeal Wade Johnson.
Hey,
Hey, hey, daughter, how are you?
I am great. How are you, Mom? I feel
I'm
like
good. I'm good.
I feel like going to
So
move around.
So listen, it did show up just like you said. Max said something, so it did show up on there. Um, but I was just telling them how amazing you are, and
Mm,
how you have this organization called America Big Sister,
yes.
and I think that's what I want to go at. I want to start with.
Yes.
Um, she's moving around a little bit. She's going to get
Yes.
settled.
Yeah.
I want to start with asking you the question. First of all, saying hello to my Better Help Better Me followers.
Hi guys. I am so excited to be on. Always a blessing when I'm able to chat with my mother. And so yes, I'm glad. I'm glad for all her followers that are following. I appreciate you guys.
Amen. Amen. So tell us, Trigil,
Yes.
where did America Big Sister come from? How did this thing start?
How did it started? So my background is education, right? So I attended Chicago State University. Shout out to the alumni of Chicago State University where I graduated. And I went to school to become a teacher. That's all I wanted to do was to teach young people. And so I went into the space. Where I worked at District 218, that was in the south suburbs of Chicago. I worked there for a couple years. And so my brother ended up being drafted to the NBA. And so after a couple years of me working at the school district, moved to Miami, had an opportunity to work for his nonprofit. And so most people felt like, wait a minute, is that still education? It absolutely fell in line of what I felt God had called me to do since I've been a young girl, and that is to pour into the next generation. So I started with that as I'm starting in this conversation. I got to walk you through it. Okay. So having the heart of philanthropy comes from the idea that my brother gave me the opportunity for sure to be able to be a part of helping in different areas. So this gave me this thought of, man, I mean, this is what I love to do. So when he retired, I always tell people I retired. And in retiring, though, I had to sit still and think about what's next for me. And so we talk about the conversation turning pain into purpose a lot. And so, in sitting still, it's what makes me weep. It's what makes me cry. It's what makes me smile. It makes me happy. I mean, all in one. And that is the teenage girl Trigil, right? And so we go to the little girl Trigil. It is me sitting still saying that little girl Trigil still had some wounds. That little girl Trigil still yeah, that little girl Trigil still lived there. And although I had seen the world, I traveled the world. I mean, I just felt like at this point, I'm absolutely someone that has survived so many different things. So let's do this. And God, placed it on my heart to do it. And I was able to start sharing my story with people. And I'm sure we'll talk about that, being on a call with you now, share my story with people about, my teenage life. And so I had a conversation with, it was TD Jake's team, and we were sitting and we were talking about ways to start me a book. And so they was like, well, who do you call yourself? And I was like, well, I feel like the world know me as a big sister. And honestly, one of the guys on his team says you should call yourself America's Big Sister. I'm like, wow. So that's where the name came from. That's where my heartbeat came from on pushing it out. But in a nutshell, it's literally me saying, hey, America has a lot of problems. And although we want to keep walking past them and act like it's a third world country problem, no, we have problems. And yes, I want to be the big sister to whoever ever needs my help in this space.
Amen. Amen. I wanted
No,
to talk
not a
about.
lot.
I wanted to touch on something that I know for a fact when you first had started it and where your heartbeat was at. And I noticed a lot of some of the females that's in your organization. That
Yeah,
mean that's in your
my
yeah,
group.
that's a part of your organization. I noticed that a lot of them are and what we call they're motherless,
Yeah.
and so that would be tapping into a place that you said it was like a wound that had to be healed, because there's a reason why your heart went out to these motherless young ladies.
Yeah.
Can you share why you felt that specific draw to them type of females?
Can I go to say that we have two programs, right? And I think one of them is the conferences that I host, and that's to all teen girls, right? So it's All Girls Matter. And then the other program is the mentoring program that you're talking about, where I'm specifically in the grassroots of, changing. Because again, we started with this conferences, and my thing is, what can I do year round? I want to be able to touch some of these girls year round, and what does that look like? And this audience of girls, this audience of motherless teen girls is what God showed me. And I started with those Christmas Secret Big Sister events. I started there, and I will have you guys show up and people pour into those girls. And so for me, these girls are me, right? I experienced being without my mother, AKA you on the line today.
Yes.
And so I experienced that growing up. And I remember it was the toughest time being able to try to navigate life without you, navigate life, without having, you being there to kind of direct and position. And so that's why it's like when people ask me, well, what way do you help these teen girls? And all I can tell them is in every way, all hands, 360. People call it 360 Club because it's a full circle, because I needed that as a young teen girl.
And I love how God um, used that um, particular incident in your life.
Yeah.
He knew he was going to heal you from it because he
Yeah.
knew what he was going to do with me. But
Yeah.
I love how he used that space,
Mhm.
open up your mind and show you there are other little Trujillos out there.
Yeah.
What we're saying, guys, is that motherless don't necessarily mean a parent that have um, passed on.
Right.
Motherless can be a parent that's right there in the home or in around that person, that child's life some type of way, but still not be there, still
Yeah.
have been checked out because of situations, circumstances. And I know a lot of you all know that in my role, it went from my drug addiction, alcohol addiction. My children were still there. She's my baby girl. She's the
Yeah.
baby girl. But she's also, what it did, it forced her now to uh, not really be able to live her teenage years because now she had to be the mother. She had to be the big sister. And that's why that American big sister come from before they put America tag on it, because
Yeah.
she literally was the big sister to her older sister. She was the big sister to her brother. She was a big sister friend, whatever. For me, she was just that person in our family. It all came on her. And we know God don't put no more on you than you can bear.
Yeah.
But she was the chosen one that navigated through it, and because of it, we're the best. We're all at our better space, better place. So she had the heart. She had the. She knew. They say you don't understand my pain, Miss Wade or Miss Johnson, and she said, "Oh, but I do." And matter of fact, can walk them through their story, and they'll be like, "Wow, how did you know? How did you know?"
Yeah.
I celebrate you, daughter, for listening to God
Yes.
and reaching that um, demographic of
Yeah.
girls,
So it,
teens.
and I'm glad you called it like a demographic of people, because people don't understand that is its own demographic. I say we because me and my girls, we experience the same things, and I try to get them to understand. No, no, no. When you have a group of people that experience this, we become now a group, and we no, not too many people are researching this particular group of girls. You'll see a lot of conversation about the motherless. I'm sorry, the fatherless, but very little about the motherless, right? And what it is that they deal with, what it is that, they may, how sometimes they'll have scientists. I think the last time they had a census about what the teen girl deals with is when AIDS was on the rise. And when AIDS was on the rise, it was a lot of girls without their moms. And that was the last time in the 80s that they done any research about it, because, people were passing from AIDS. So they have not done a lot of research at all about this particular demographic. And so, yeah, when you said I have girls in my program who mom is still present, they're still alive. Some of them are, like you say, some deal with mental health, and they're right in the house. Some deals with drug addiction, incarceration. Some moms, is time is just spent, and they don't have anywhere and no place to deposit anything into those girls. And of course, some of our moms have transitioned, but I have a host of young girls that is missing just that piece. And like you, I remember, learning a long time ago, I'm just part of the chain of the village. I'm just part of the village. I link up with the guardian. We call it the full circle. I link up with the guardian who has the child in their possession, and I link up with a community partner, because that's where I get my girls from. A community partner. You can't find these girls everywhere. These girls, no one's talking about I'm motherless, right? No one. Matter of fact, the idea of having a conversation, all my girls break down, all my girls cry, because it is a tough space to admit that I don't have that space, especially in the age group that they're in. So yeah, I can't just find them. They're not going to just sign up. I need help from other organization, community. I say churches, schools, counselors, pastors. If you guys know any that's in that space, they're the ones that would contact me. And I just, make sure that when you hand them over to me, that you're also shaking my hand and we're saying we're going to do it together, because you're just as important in the circle as well. So it's a hopeful movement on how to handle and help these teen girls.
Amen. Amen. I noticed at the beginning you said how, you have your moments when you're crying, and then when you have your joy, I can feel, and then by me being so close to you, the draw that it has on you, to see the girls trying to have these relationships with their parents, and their parents is not giving them back. And I said that because one of one of my followers, daughter followers, said they're missing the love.
That's it.
So so what happened, guys, when that happened? All right, let's look at it. Let's think about it, and especially you mother that have sons, and that we're gonna have a son talk too about that. Okay, just look at it. So you got this motherless, you got this child that don't have never been a part of an organization as what America Big Sister, what Miss Tregear Wade Johnson does. So she never been a part of that. She never really experienced be able to get to the heart of why I am feeling like this, or how can I even get past this. And she goes out there in life, and now she's making her own path. She's making her own path, wounded, still with the pain, got all the brushes that's up in front of her, and she really, really see through the brushes. So whatever comes in front of her, that's what she grasps onto. Pretty little thing, then mess around and get in a relationship with your son, and all messed up. Don't know how to navigate through a relationship. Yeah. Do you all have a part of your program where you deal with the girls, or teach the girls mannerism, or how to be in a relationship? Because the relationship is broken with mama, and some of them broken with daddy. So we don't know how do I supposed to really be in this relationship with this young man or with this young lady. What are I supposed to do?
Yeah,
you all have that set up in there for them. I know we're dealing with here now.
That's it, right? So we're dealing with their mindset. And so what we have done is we literally have professional therapists, licensed therapists that is assigned weekly to have conversations around exactly what you're mentioning right now. And so we take the conversations from self-awareness to empathy, to motivation, to self-regulation. And one of the topics you're saying is even boundaries. We talk about boundaries in relationships. So that's usually the conversations we have had. If you can name it, we have probably had it at this point, because it's absolutely, it's important for them to understand and for them to know and for them to, experience. But we have this time too where they can let out the tire. We call it letting out the air out their tire. So they're then able to tell me and tell us some of the things that they're dealing with in understanding these different relationships. So do we have conversations about the opposite sex? Absolutely. Matter of fact, that's almost a weekly thing when we have to have some conversations around that. So yes, we do believe it's huge. It's important. We talk about emotional intelligence. And I think one of the things you and I was talking about was them getting being intelligent emotionally, being able to take what they went through as that, motherless girl, and knowing the tools to deal with it, or knowing where to place it. It's very important from an emotional standpoint. They can be all over the place if you don't pull them in. And so, if any of you guys is watching that have any teenagers, I want you to look it up. Emotional intelligence, EI. It's a thing. Most people are familiar with IQ, but I want you to look up EI, and I want you to do some digging and some researching, finding out ways they can take an emotional test just to see where they're at emotionally. And then you're able to even find ways to teach them in different areas at how to handle, and give them the tools. That's all I said. I said, by the time our girls are done, if you think of a tool belt, it'll be full with things that, although some of them may not even experience yet, but when they do, they'll say, "Oh, I got a screwdriver for that." Oh, I
I
got
like that.
a nail for that. They'll have these tools that they'll be able to pull out. Because again, I'm not holding nothing back. They understand. I have to keep it real. I have to keep it transparent. I have to. It's who I am. It's what I represent, and the world is not holding nothing back. So why would I? And I
Hey.
yeah, the world ain't holding nothing back. The world is giving it all to them.
Hmm.
And so we around here thinking, oh, well, they're not old enough. Stop telling that to yourself, adults. Uh, they see
Sister
it all.
Nicole Banks got on and she said boundaries, relationships. Yes. Yeah, that's what they have to be taught. And by her coming on, I think I was thinking about you as well. Because what happens to guys, and I have to share it because, like I said, this is a life walk experience. And to see my daughter in the space that she's in now, I'm telling you, it's just blesses my heart. But God started pulling on that baby there a long time ago. I think she's about 5 years old when he started pulling on her. But God knew, and praise God for my mom being
Yeah,
in the space that she was in with
yeah,
her relationship with God, that she was called her, she took her in, she did her assignment. She did her assignment. She sat Trujillo there in that church, and even though I was missing, God gave her another mother to be in her life at that particular time. And that's the instance with you. And so you guys are really like caregivers. And
yes,
it's taxing.
it can be.
You know,
Yes,
you all take on the fill in the role that's missing for their lives. And like I said, I was thinking about Nicole, how she became the mother sister to even her own
yeah,
sister. And it's a thing. You know what I mean? I can't get in you all's mind, just say just what you all experience, but just to see the effect that it has on you all sometime. Many times you have called me crying, about a girl that have came into your life,
yes.
like you birthed her out in the world, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
you
I mean, yeah, you take that thing real serious. It's definitely an assignment, and when God gives you an assignment, this is what you do. Now, one of the things from legislation I'm trying to do, and that's me having the right conversations, is trying to get them to pass some laws that can support the kin's care, is what we call it. It's kin's care, not foster care. It's kin's
okay,
care.
okay.
And trying to get legislation to sign off on the support level, because they're not like, we know foster care has more financial opportunities. We know foster care, government has put a lot of things in place for them, from counseling to things like that. And so what we're trying to do is get some legislation to start thinking of ways where kin's care get that same support, financially. Because I'm a family member, I took this child in, but I wasn't necessarily prepared for them financially. I may not have, I wasn't ready to have to, get a larger apartment or anything. And so what I really am, I'm really pushing for us to start having those conversations in more government spaces, to start looking at kin's care in a different way, where they're giving them the support. Yes, kin's care.
Please
So
let us know what we can do as the Better Health, Better Me community. I'm already getting hearts because of that. I think that's a great uh,
yeah,
thing for us. You're right, because it is missing. We got to care for everything else, but what about that space there? And somebody got to take the move, because maybe somebody else not thinking about it. So
yeah,
yes, let our community know. Better Health. They look at that. Look at that. Look at that. She said that will help families stay together. I'm talking about you getting hearts here, young
Yeah.
lady. She didn't tell me that before the talk show, y'all. But I like that myself. So you let us know how to get on board. We can always bring you back on, and you can really explain it to us. Or if you have somebody else you want to come on with us, we'll be able to do that. But you didn't hit something. You didn't hit on something. And I know it's hard.
Signing some petitions, that's next level for me. It's getting more in these governmental spaces, getting them to understand that KinsCare, we do need counseling, especially if we're dealing with something. Here's where KinsCare, where we miss too. We're pouring into the young people, right? And if I'm a family member, I'm hurt too, right? And I'm trying to be a support to the kids. So I need some type of help, right? Yeah. So that's also written into it, where, my grandmother was very, very helpful and very amazing. My lifeline is what I call her. And so this is my lifeline, but my lifeline was dealing with the fact that her daughter was dealing with something. Does that make sense? Yes. So she has to now deal with this, but also deal with mentally that her daughter, who she raised to be, is not as healthy to perform. So how can she now come in a meeting and sit with some more people and have more conversation and be encouraged? We started this like guardianship call at one point just to encourage each other, just to pour into each other. But yeah, but we need the government, we need finances to support and to help us from a psychological standpoint, because our mental health needs it, right? We're pulled in many ways.
I love how you said that. This is really turning. Actually, somebody said adults need support too. That's right. Yes. Actually, I love how you said that with the word mental health, because a lot of people look at mental health as being, somebody that's schizophrenia, somebody does this and that. No. We have so many people walking around the world today that's dealing with mental health. I mean, everyday people. Somebody you don't walk by going to the store, somebody you're standing in a line behind, or you're at the doctor's office. Somebody is dealing with mental health, the mental stress, because we don't know what's happening behind the wall, even if some of them have a home to go to. We just assume, or we just really block it out because we got a home to go to. But when you have people like you all, and I like how Cynthia Manuel said, bridges the gap. When you have people like you all that bridge the gap, that's out there working tirelessly, trying to help our children, help somebody's daughter. And a lot of times it's not looked at and it's not appreciated, even by the parents. Even though I saw everything you was doing and it used to touch my heart that you did it, but I still kept my feet planted in the vineyard that I was playing in at that particular time, knowing that it's a little hard on you and stuff. Watching you become a big girl when you should have still been a little girl, enjoying your young life, And I know you have had girls like that where they're help raising their sisters. And so, didn't you say some of them don't even see their siblings? They get split up or something like that. Didn't you share that?
Yeah. So one of the amazing opportunity we had was we got on CBS. So the conversation had, really got into the minds of CBS, and they had me on. They called the Modern Day Mother segment, and we featured one of my girls there, and one of the girls was there, and we featured her. She had 5 siblings. Well, there was only 2 that was being raised by the aunts. Well, 3 that was being raised by them. There was 2 more that was separate. And she happened to be at a store one day working at her job, because that's what you'll find at most of my girls. They work jobs, right? Because they don't want to be a burden. They want to try to find ways to help in the situation that they're in. And so she saw her siblings. And so you get that from some of them, they do not, because the family member can't take all the kids, right? So that's how they're separated, right? A family member may even decide, okay, well, I could take the girl and you'll take the boy. And so they do get separated that way. And it leaves them in a space where now we're in conversation. We're dealing with abandonment now with our young people. We're dealing with rejection conversations. So it can be pretty deep when we deal with this particular audience of girls. Last year, I was able to bring on mentors, other women that was from all over the world. And I assigned them with one of the girls, and they were, these are successful women that was able to pour into them. And it was a huge help, because it was, they were able to instantly make a phone call, instantly send a text message and say, right now I just saw my little sister and I'm crying, what can we, how can we help them? We have mentors that was on the call, on there, just ready
They
to go.
had their personal mentor.
Yes, they have personal mentors.
That's
Yes,
power. That's
yeah.
power.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's power.
huge. It's huge because I always tell I'm the ultimate big sister. You ain't gonna. I'm the ultimate big sister. But I understood that God had a plan where I could reach more than my hand. And I remember, you and I went to a conference once before, and we learned that our hands can only reach as much as we can go. We got to be able to attach ourselves to other people in order for it to grow even
Yeah,
longer, right? And if I
yeah,
want the organization just to be in my hand, then just expect me to just have at least about 10 or 5, maybe. But if I wanted to grow, I had to then trust that God would send me amazing women that had the same heart, that had the same love to give. Is the
yeah.
word that
I
she
love
used.
that. I love that. Making something that's limited unlimited. The
That's
more
it.
that we
Yeah.
stretch out and we touch others. And yes, I remember getting on a few of your mentor programs that you was having live actually on Facebook. You was actually free with it. You wasn't charging nobody. It was just live where you can go in there and you can get such powerful information, and you will be able to see the responses of the children. And we need to listen. We need to listen and care because they make the next generation. They're the ones that's going to be the doctors, the nurses. They're the ones going to be the builders. They the one.
That's it.
This is why I named the Youth on the Rise, because
Yeah.
I believe that's what America Big Sister does. It
Yeah.
them up, it lifts them up, it gives them a rise, it leveled them. How
Yeah.
many graduates have you had since you have been doing your organization?
Oh man, every year we've had graduates that, I mean, amazing, to where we've had to start our college program.
Woo!
Yeah, we've had to start it because after high school our program really stops. That was our original theme. But when they become family, because that's what happens, they become our family, become my little sisters. So it's like, oh, we can't stop that. Now we got to do America's Big Sister graduate program. So these are girls that have went on. So I mean, it's constantly a growing organization, and I'm so excited. What I'm excited though is that I really want to get you on, right? And here's why I want to get you on is I think it's important for them to hear from you, who was a mom that once wasn't there, and how to be, and so they can understand a little bit about how you feel, because you loved us. It was not a question about it. You loved us. I mean, your decisions wasn't about necessarily us at all, and just to know kind of where you were thinking at the time. I think it would definitely which is why I gotta have you on pretty soon, because from a mindset standpoint, because that's our theme for the year: mindset matter, your mindset matters. Is I have to get them in hearing from you to even shift their thoughts as to what their guardian is going through, because we go through different emotions. We're angry, more than we are sad, right? But we go through these different emotions, but the anger part really really hits there, and it becomes a trigger. So we go to school, anybody say anything about our mom, I mean, and you might as well kick us out of school, because we are about to go, and
That
it's,
is true.
yeah,
Yeah.
and getting you in that space to be able to have that conversation with them, to be able to say, no, that's, I wish, that's not the case, because some of them, like I said, their moms are still in the land of the living. They don't understand why didn't you choose me, mom? Why you didn't choose me? Why choose everything else?
Yeah. Yeah. And we have to understand that them questions are there. It's on their mind, it's on their heart, that why. And that's what I love about your organization, because it 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 helps the child to understand the different answers to the whys when
Yeah.
they bring certain people up. And anytime you need me to speak, I'm always going to be there, because I know God used my journey for His glory. So I have no problem standing and sharing whatever. Just like He, you know, got you to be on my program here.
Yeah.
Even your brother was just on last week. So I'm hitting good numbers here, because it's showing how all of you all are really um, into to develop it, and into and showing that really the extent of the love. I call it agape.
Yeah.
Agape love when you're going past, when you're doing something that you don't even understand. It's loving outside of your understanding, what I call it. You know,
Okay.
and when you get in there and you really work it and you work it with grace, you use the grace that God give you for it.
Yeah.
Because many times, you know, I know you was like burnt out, Mama. I don't know, you know, sometimes the money wouldn't
Yeah.
meet up and stuff because doing this work costs. Let's talk about the cost. How
Yeah.
it you know it if anything, you know, anything would matter. Any donation would matter. And, you know, nobody like getting up, you know, I call it lightweight begging people for money, but God said, put it out there, and you know you want to do this. He said, I'm gonna give you the vision, and I'm gonna take care of the provision. And you,
Yeah.
you put it out there, and then you know your budget don't be met, and sometimes people don't understand how that can be downhearted. But then you still press through. That's what I love about you, young lady. You still press through no matter what. And I know the foundation that I have always, not because you're my daughter, but it's what your foundation stands for. It
Yeah.
always found a way to, oh, I got to sow there. I got to sow there because I'm
Yeah.
sowing into the future. I'm
Yeah.
sowing into the future. I'm literally sowing also into Ken's Care because it's helping to lift a burden up off of you all as the caretakers of these young children.
Yeah.
And before we now we go on the second day. Before we go there, okay, we just talked a lot about the motherless children, but you heard her say that it's twofold. That she
Yeah.
also now they have it where they talk to all the teens. You
Yeah.
know, so do you all ever address male teens, or it's just strictly females?
You know what? We do strictly females right now. I keep getting the call out to partner in order to get, you know, males. I have amazing organizations that are male driven that I can send them to, but right now we do females. I'm interested in doing a male panel. I'm interested in doing a few things that's on the rise that I'm thinking and I'm working on in my brain. But it's gonna be it's really just geared to girls right now. So we have in Chicago coming up August the 12th. The other part of my program is that we do these teen girls conferences, and so Chicago is where we started in 2017. And so we start off with 200 girls. We're now at 400 teenage girls.
Whoa!
So right? So we'll be hosting 400 teen girls in Chicago with some amazing partners. Like you said, I cannot do this because it's free to the girls. I do not charge them anything. Most of these programs, most of these conferences will have a fee. But when I tell you there's no charge to them, they will eat breakfast, they will eat lunch. They have some amazing motivating people that is going to be on the panel that have said, yes, these women are not charging me to be there. And so we underwrite those dollars because we have volunteers. We have amazing givers like you, Mom, because she's always my number one giver. Whenever I'm out doing these fun events, when I did a popcorn and someone sent me a message and was like, well, your number one giver, her name is Jolinda. Oh my goodness, that's my mom. I just started laughing like, yes, she go tap in and give every time. So I'm excited though, because we got a chance to be able to have these amazing sponsors. So Focus for Health has been amazing at being a part of every four, because we're in 4 cities that we're going to do this conference. We call it We're on the Road. We wanted to come to the girls this year. So normally I would only do Chicago, but this year I went to Miami. I'll be headed to Houston. I'll be headed to Kansas City, which is the 4 cities that I have my mentoring program at. I'll be headed to all 4 cities. I'm bringing the conference to them for free because it's important.
Guess what, guys? I'm honored because I would happen to be in Chicago.
Yeah.
She did ask me would I bring some Better Health, Better Me also to be able to speak to the girls. So Better Health, Better Me will be represented in the building that day because I do believe we have something to say because, you know, we don't just deal with one portion of a human being. We deal with the whole man, the mind, the body, and the spirit. And I don't know, they might open it up for questions, and that would be fine as well because we never know what question that child might have in her heart. Like, and I know that's Trujillo Wade's mama, but I know your story. Miss Wade, can you tell me? You know,
and we'll post some of those questions too. One of the topics that we also talk about is suicide. Suicide has been a very I should say, a topic that's been trending more than before, and I'm happy because it is the cousin of depression. It sits side by side, and if we
Mm,
attack the conversation right away, when they do feel any kind of overwhelming space, they'll be able, because we talk about the gun violence in the schools, and I tell them it is. The young man that shut up the young school, I can't remember the school name, but it was a suicide slash what we call like murder. So it was the suicide thought first. It was that I'm tired and I'm done with life and I don't want no more of it. And I'm taking people with me. It is those conversations that we find that our young people are having. They're just tired. And so we are now having that in our meetings, and so in our workshops. So we had Wonderful from Miami when she came out and she brought us these love boxes. I should have brought one online to show you how
Heather,
Heather, yes. She brought us those love boxes and she made that topic so real and so down. She brought it to their level so they was able to understand it. Because Heather tried to commit suicide at 8. I personally experienced it at 16. And I tried to do it on more than one occasion because I was just tired and I just was like, I don't want to do this if this is life. And so those topics we are having, Mom. And
I love it. It's real. It's
it,
real. It's real. I remember sharing how when suicide came and
yeah.
tapped on my door, and you're right, depression was hanging right there with it,
Yeah.
cousin.
Yeah.
And I say they were twins myself. They were sort of
Twins.
twins.
You call them cousins. Yeah, you call them twins.
And when it hit my door, I remember God intervened immediately. I was in such a dark place. I
Yeah.
wanted to come out and be that mom to you guys. Wanted to take my, say, come on, Trujillo, sit down. I got it now. I wanted to do all that, but it was just so
Yeah.
heavy. The darkness was so heavy. And the only way I got through it, he showed me you all's face.
That's
He said,
it.
I know how to stop this one here. And I
Yeah.
just never forget him from intervening in my life like that there. He showed me you all face. So that means when I went down again, I didn't go down as deep, you know,
Yeah.
but I
Yes.
still went down, but it wasn't as deep to the point where I want, if anything, now I'm saying, God, I want to live. I want to live, but I wouldn't say it out loud because I don't want to go back to jail. That was my mindset. Telling the devil was, like you said, the mindset. Devil
Right.
was really working on my mindset. So I said, if I say it out loud, then God gonna arrest me. I'm gonna go to jail. But hey, that was freedom for me. That was my freedom road. So
Got
I
it.
thank God for you.
I love it. I love your transparency. I love how you conversate. I love how you tell your truth, and you live in your truth. And I think that is to be commended. That is to be praised because so many of us can't get out because we don't have people like you to tell the truth that
Mm,
we're attached to. And so I always tell people forgiveness is my anchor in life, right? And I had to learn forgiveness in order for me to even be in a space where I'm able to holistically pour out in a holistic space, right? But I didn't get that place until I had a mom who decided that, listen, someone asked me, how did you forgive them? Like, what happened? I said, there's two ways you can forgive, right? One is when you have someone that is openly able to say, it's how you felt, and that's how you felt, and I'll take it. You know
mm,
what? You didn't deny it. I say, well, you made me feel. You didn't try to say, well, no, you shouldn't know. And we used the naked conversation where you became naked in front of us, and you were okay with what we were pushing back out to you, and you were okay with saying, and I'm sorry, and I am sorry, and that's all we want to hear. So when we talk about stuff that our kids are dealing with, we think is a big thing we got to do. We got to create all this. No, no, no. We just need something simple as I'm sorry. Now, on
mm.
the other hand, I had another parent, and I don't know if he's gonna be watching today, but that was the one that I had to do where I forgive them for he knew not what he did. And I use that because I talk about on the cross how it was one of God Jesus' words. I forgive you for you knew not what you did. Because I remember calling him. I remember calling him at 19. I'll never forget. I called him. I says, I forgive you. What you forgive me for? I ain't do nothing to you. What you talking about? here you go, and then you'll get that. So I don't know which parent or who you're trying to forgive, but there is a time when you may have to forgive someone that honestly don't even know what they've done to you or
Right.
feel that they've done anything. So
Me too.
forgiveness is the anchor, and it has definitely made me in put me in a position of wholeness. And even when it comes to suicide and conversations like that, I mean, I'm in a place where I'm like, man, that's so behind me, but I am. I mean, it's so like it's something so far away. My good days have absolutely outweighed my bad days.
Oh, praise God. I love that. I love that. Yeah, she's a church person too, guys. She's a minister. She's minister as well. It's in the family lineage for real. You got your cousins on from down south. I have one person on here, Cynthia Manuel. She says she would love to volunteer. So, is there a volunteering space for your event that you're doing in Chicago?
You know what? If you go to America's Big Sis,
Let me put it down, mommy. I meant to create this banner before we got on, but I was panicking. So, America.
America's, and I don't know, I can't put the chat in there. So you want to do www dot America's Big Sisters. So you almost one word, and we're
Okay,
gonna do America's with an S, Big Sisters with an S.com. So you want to go there, and when you go there, you find at the top you'll get an opportunity where it'll say.
I'm just messing up, guys. America's. They have mercy on Mr. Gill because they know. www.america's what?
America's Big Sisters. So it's the name of the organization. So America's with an S, Big Sisters with an S.
There you go.
.com.
.com. Right.
Yep, .com. You want to go on there and you want to follow that sign when it'll tell you an opportunity to volunteer. You want to tap into that. Even if you're interested in donating, you can tap there as well. So it'll kind of place all of that, all the information you need to know about both programs are there. I'm just trying to see. So the first program you'll see is called Gold Girls Group. You'll see that. The second program is All Girls Matter. That's the conference. We are getting prepared to launch this academy, a virtual academy that I'll be teaching. And so it's called America's Big Sister Academy. That's coming, not yet. But once you pass that, you'll see apply and be a volunteer. And if you want to contribute, you can always do that. Okay.
Hey, so now, guys, I put the address up, but it is on my feed as well. But I put it up and I put a gap between sisters that don't. They're really supposed to all go together. Have mercy on me, please, guys. It's supposed to all go together.
I'm so proud of her on this computer. You hear me? She started asking me questions. I said, I don't know. It's my first time where I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. Good job doing this thing. Hey.
So we commend you for all of the work and the effort and your heart and all your total being that you have put toward the goal of bringing these children to their better self place, to helping them to rise above whatever level that they're at, and understanding that everybody don't rise at the same time, and giving that other one time to rise to its potential at the same place. I love when we had our conversation about, you said the intelligence, the emotional intelligence, and the IQ. I thought that was just so powerful, because I literally just watched a picture yesterday, guys, how this young lady was act intelligent. Had the most, she was just so bright, but emotionally, she was messed up. And that became her downfall. Because she was disconnected from the emotional aspect. And like you said, she took that and it was anger. And, I want to soar to the top, but it's the way that she was soaring, and she was doing it through her emotional breakage place. She was broke. She was doing it through that, but using her intellect. So the emotional intelligence, I just thought that was awesome. It's powerful. Even when I was broke, I got a little head on me, but when I was emotionally messed up, I was thinking outside of that that place.
So you'll see a lot of smart people deal with that. So if you are Googling, once we get off of here, you want to Google EI and IQ, right? Emotional intelligence. They'll tell you it's like EQ and IQ. So it's an emotional quotient, and or emotional intelligence is the ability to identify and control the emotion of oneself, right? And in others and groups. So it teaches all of that, right? And then the intelligent quote is more score derived from standardized testing. And so we growing up, we know IQ, we hear that all the time. Oh, their IQ levels is high. That is huge. But when they ask you, is one more important than the other? They'll let you know that studies have shown that people with the EI are more likely to be more successful in both their personal and professional lives, right? And the reason that IQ helps you because it does solve problems, but a high emotional intelligence, you're more self-aware and more control of yourself and your emotions. You are absolutely looked on to go higher in life. So
Amen.
we have this EI, emotional intelligence has been a lot of the girls' conversations. One of my young girls who is amazing, who's been loving it and has been a huge, I should say, her garden has been a huge support to us, is Janika. And I always talk about Janika. She gets on every week. I told her I was going to give her a gift and an award for her. And these glasses we have on are glasses from her aunt, who is a guardian. So just want to throw that out there. The John Wesley ones. I still got my sticker on, Mom. You still have yours on?
I took my sticker off. I remember you guys talked about me one time for sporting my sticker on a pair of glasses. So, yeah. Thank you so much for these beautiful glasses. My daughter blessed me with it, and I think they look pretty cool on me. What y'all think of? Better help, better me. Put Mama Wade. Better help, better me. Place. Come on now.
Mama Wade. Thanks to and again, those are the relationships that you build when you connect with guardians that are just as involved and just as interested in the child going to the next level. And she is.
Answer this then, because our time is getting down, and we have. I know you have told us about the 4 cities that you, America Big Sister, is a part of right now. But suppose someone wanted you to bring your organization to their city, because they I have guests on that's from all different parts of the world, right? So suppose one of them wants to have you to bring it to their city. Do they still go to this www.americanbigsister.com, and is there a place for that?
Contact us. So press that contact button, and in the message space, that's what you want to do. You want to let us know that you're interested in being a part of the city. Now, there's 2 programs that you may want to, talk about. You may want to talk about you want to bring the motherless teen girls. You might want to be my community partner. And again, it comes with some responsibilities. So it's not just easy to say, oh, well, no. You have to stay just as engaged with those young people with us. Or you may just want to bring the program, which is the conference, to your city. There's no small number, no big number. You want to bring it to the city. We'll talk about ways that we both work together to raise the dollars to make it happen for you. And so, both programs is definitely ready to go. And so back to that 3rd program that I'm looking to launch, it's going to be a program that will be nationwide, worldwide. And so only because God is calling me to the nations, and I got to answer it. So that's what that other program is looking to do soon. But in the meantime, I'm glad you asked that question. Just go ahead and contact us and let us give you a call back, and let's see what we can do together.
Amen. So, hey, listen, Better Help, Better Me community. If this information that you got and God now have really done touch your heart, or you've been looking for a place, you got some people that's looking for a place. I know God want me to do something. And now all of a sudden you done seen it on Better Help, Better Me, check in with Mama Wade. Then you have an access now. Go to www.americanbigsister.com and hit the contact. You want to volunteer, that a volunteer. Really just go and look at our site, period.
Yes.
and then you'll be able to really see the work she does. And if some of you might not be able to give from your time, maybe you can give from your finances. You know, you give as you can give, and that's how God honor it, and that's how God look upon it. Where she was able to give in this way, because I can't come all the way to Chicago, but I want to send that money to Chicago. I want to be able to support that one child, or I want to be able to support 10 kids, or I want to be able to support that program you got there. Matter of fact, listen, I like your Kids Care. How can I sign up? Go to www.americabigsisters.com. Contact. There's going to be always somebody, because she's very professional, that you're going to be able to speak to, and you're going to be able to find out if you want to know what the cost. Ask. Don't assume. Ask. And guess what? Everything is not free. God said, and I heard TDJ said it, so I guess if TDJ said it's all right, but the Bible said it first. Money is the root. Money is the love of money is the root of all evil. But in Ecclesiastes, he said money answers everything. That's in the society in which we live in, guys. Yeah. That's how we fulfill it. You know, so I'm talking to the ones who got the little, and I'm talking to the ones who got the much. You know, we're not scared to ask for millions. We're not scared to even receive millions. We'll take your millions, because we know God knows if I give her $1 million, then she's going to take it and she's going to do what I would have her to do all over the world, because we are called. You too. Sometimes you can't get to Africa, but you might be called to send to Africa. Sometimes you can't get to New York, but you called to send it to New York. Sometimes you called to send it somewhere. Amen. And that's how we roll. That's how we roll as this family. Oh my God, I have loved this. Would you all like to see her come back? I know she's a busy lover. Althea said we need a program in New York City. I love Althea. That's one of my Bible study daughters too. Althea, go to America Big Sister out there and check things out. Hit that contact, talk, do whatever you need to do. Because I know one thing, you're a serious sister. You are one serious daughter. And I'll see you Thursday. Amen, my daughter. You have anything you would like to say?
Last thing I would like to say is our teenagers are dealing with a lot right now in this season, and I need us to just give them a little more grace, right? Just like we're asking for grace as adults, we need grace. We need to give them just as much as grace, right? They're withdrawing. You're seeing a lot of that. They'll go in their rooms. They'll go in their safe space is what they'll call it. And so someone asked me before, Trigil, if you had to talk to other people that may not be a part of the program, may not be able to be a part, like what could we do if we are dealing with that in our own homes? And so I'd like to leave you with 3 R's. One of the things you want to do, you want to be revealing, right? And revealing is being able to say, you sit down with them and you find a conversation or a testimony of something that you went through and reveal. Reveal will open up immediate conversation, because what that does is allow them now to trust you because you shared, right? I need you to reveal. The other thing I want you to do is be relatable. I cannot get you to be so tight when you're talking to them. I need you to find out how could you be relatable, because in that revelation of revealing, you want to be relatable. That's what you're showing them. And after that, after the conversation, and you feel that you have connected, you have to be reliable. They have to be able to contact you. As busy as you are, don't open the door that you cannot invite them in. You know what? Don't even open the door. But if you open that door, be prepared if a message come across at midnight. If the Lord, go to your knees. If the Lord told you to text them at 6 o'clock, text them at 9 o'clock, whatever the Lord told you. This morning, the Lord told me to reach out to one of my girls. I found a picture of her and I sent it to her and says, I miss you, right? I don't know what that meant, but God told me to do it and I did that. You have to be reliable. So when she replied back, you're there to be able to say, I'm here for you. All they want to know is that they have someone that is there for them and that they're not alone. So if you have one of those young people in your life and they can't be a part of the program, think of those 3 R's and definitely, of course, be prayerful in everything you do.
And could you give me them 3 R's again? I'd like to put them up.
Okay, so you want to be revealed, want to be revelate, you want to be able to reveal, right? You want to be relatable, and you also want to be reliable. Where you at? Where you typing?
I'm typing. You say reveal. You want to be revealed?
Yeah.
Revealing?
Yep.
Okay. You want to be reliable?
And you want to be
relatable. Relatable, then reliable.
Mm-hmm.
Relatable. Y'all, thank you, y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all deal with me and reliable, right? I
because
love
that
it. I love them. I love them.
it's that authenticity. It's going authenticity equals repairing equals trust. Trust equals results. You have to know, guys, that that's all they need. They don't need a lot, but the little that they do, you got to be there. And so, uh, you guys are like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you in the room all locked in?" I mean, the reality is, this is the world that we're in right now. COVID taught us this.
Yeah.
COVID taught a lot, and we're going to be learning more about statistically what has COVID done to our young people, and I can't wait to get back on to share
Amen.
that. Yeah.
Amen. I definitely, matter of fact, that was one question I wanted to put in, but we have reached the 1 o'clock hour. She have
Yeah.
actually literally given us all of the time. And I want to
Okay.
thank you once again, my daughter, for coming out and for giving us that very powerful word. Listen, you guys can go to my YouTube channel, go to check in with Mama Wade. While you're there, subscribe, and you'll be able to see this particular casting that we are doing today. You'll be able to see it in its entirety and also be able to look at the other previous guests that I have had on. Remember, August is the month of, we call it Youth on the Rise. Thank you again, my daughter. I love you. And you have an amazing day today. And
Thank
the
you.
audience loves you as well. My community is in love with you, man. Look at the hearts. Thank you guys so much for receiving.
All right.
All right,
Love you.
love you too. Wow, guys, listen, yes, we have really went into that hour. I'm one over, so y'all know I'm going to have to get ready to go down. I want to be true to the time and true to the time with you all as we're doing this here. But next week, I'm looking to have, I'm reaching out to my grandson now. I would love to have Zaire Wade on. Yes, I'm embarking on the family road because there's so much wisdom and knowledge in there that we all went through that I believe God is going to be able to use. So I'm looking for him, and it's another young man that was supposed to be on in July for empowerment. I'm gonna see if and it was a miscommunication on my part. So I'm going to see if his dad will allow him to be a part of it next week with Zaire, if I can get Z. I'm trying to get them all before their schedules get busy. But I love you guys, and I thank you all so much for tuning in. Remember, go to my YouTube channel, check in with Mama Wade. While you're there, subscribe and view all of the messages and the guests in which we have brought in already. If you do decide you want to be a part of the show, and you have something that you can give and you can teach, you working in some type of professional field, then I need you. Or if you just really are coming from the street, you can still be on drugs and want to be on. We're gonna have a program about that because we need to talk. They need a place that they can talk, and then you need a place where you can understand why they are where they are, or alcoholism, or whatever. This show is open. It's called Better Health, Better Me. It was talking about dealing with the whole entire individual, your soul, your body, and your spirit. It's all one. And God loves you. You was not born by accident. God got a purpose and a plan for your life. And for my youth, remember, there's nothing but you that can stop you from leveling up. You can rise. You're the only one that can stop you. Okay? All right. This is Mama Wade. Check it out. All right. I'll talk with you guys later. I love you. Have a great one.